Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the generation that's no, that ain't it. We are the best that no, we try to say we the best there is. You gonna have some fools out there try to no. Welcome to the Heavy Hitters Live. As y'all already know, it's Wednesday night, man. I'm your host, K Styles, aka the Six Man. To my stage left, as y'all know, Mr. Tactician, aka Juan Costello, is in the building.
Hey, hey.
All the way to the other side, as y'all know, it is the Mad One, the Senator. Mad Mike
Yeah,
Sports is
I
in the
got
building.
people after me. I got people after me, so I had to change my position this time.
What did you just say it this time?
I probably said something everything. So I don't know. I
And
mean,
as we
look, y'all know how Luciano was. Everybody was at the. He was really slick, but he had a few. I'll just start while I'm ahead. I'm gonna start where I'm
yeah,
ahead.
Yeah,
because you
yeah, yeah.
already
Don't.
giving away the reconnaissance, man. You
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
give
Don't
away
tell on yourself.
reconnaissance.
We got you covered. Don't tell on yourself.
Mhm.
Exactly. And right below him, we have the residential food critic. We got the Don's favor. What's going on, Don?
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dunn, and I am the advocate for the reigning, defending 12-time national champions, Michigan
Oh
Wolverines, gold blue.
I
There
was
you
not
have it, guys.
expecting.
That's Don.
see that.
I was not.
I don't
I
know
was
why I
not.
see that coming.
I didn't expect him to cut a Paul Heyman promo with
I
that.
I
I
I
didn't.
Eat,
I did.
look, eat, sleep, beat Ohio State, repeat. I get it. It's hate week.
Wow.
Oh man.
And that's the end of our show, folks. Bye. Nah, look here.
Oh man.
Hey man, that's the Don over there, man. Like I said, and we have a special guest. Um, we got we got Jake Hefner in the building representing the Los Angeles Chargers. I don't know why I was gonna call him San Diego, but I'm still trying to get used to that.
Can I ask you something? Can I ask you something? Is it possible that you can get me some snow bunnies? I need a few snow bunnies.
Shut the hell up, man.
Yeah, bro. Really,
Shut the hell
really,
up, man.
really. Might be down.
And that
You didn't
Because the
put this
one
man
the
on
one
the spot and in a
below
pickle.
the one below me is taking them all. So I look.
Bro, don't
No.
even do me like that, bro. Come on, bro. I ain't taking nothing. I ain't taking nothing.
You know what, Jake? Don't worry about us. We've just been drinking hot apple cider. Don't pay us no attention.
It's all good, man. I was actually loving all the Attitude Era WWE I was getting. I was loving the Advocate stuff I was getting. I mean, that was just speaking to me right there. I was like, oh, take me back. Love it.
and if you ain't down with that, we got two words for you.
It's
Yes,
showtime.
memories.
All right.
Good
All
old
right,
days.
man. Hey, man. Hey, look. We got a good fun one here tonight, man. We're gonna get a whole bunch of different things going on. Like you said, man, we appreciate everybody that's in the chat right now. Um, Jake, since you are our guest of honor, man, go ahead and plug yourself where they can find you right here, right quick, so we let them know. Okay, y'all better go over there and follow.
Appreciate it, guys. And again, thanks for having me on. This is going to be a lot of fun. So myself and my co-host, Dan Wolkenstein, we host the Chargers Unleashed podcast from the LA Football Network. Been doing it now for, God, going on our fifth season now. It feels way too long doing that, especially when we're talking about this team. Yeah, come on over there. Follow us if you're interested in some Chargers content. Dan and I do a weekly show, doing about 2 to 3 shows a week right now. So having a lot of fun. It's an exciting season. And hopefully we'll be still talking about football come January.
Okay. Um, so Before we kick off this discussion, I usually like to ask about how you feel about the season for the Chargers so far. Were there any kind of surprises on this team right here or whatnot, man, coming from your perspective?
I think the excitement was so palpable when the announcement came down that Jim Harbaugh was going to be the head coach of the Chargers. And just immediately you knew the reason why, because you haven't had a coach like this for this team since the Marty Schottenheimer days of the early 2000s and 2006 when LT broke the rushing record for touchdowns that season. So then you went through the Norv Turners, then you went through the Mike McCoys, then you went through the Anthony Lynn's, then you went through the really droll days of Brandon Staley. And to get to this point where it seems like ownership just finally understood what was needed for this team, what was needed for Justin Herbert. And not only that, from Jim Harbaugh, a lot of the things that when Brandon Staley came over as a head coach, a lot of people expected members of that Rams coaching staff to follow him. It never ended up happening. And now Jim Harbaugh comes, Jesse Minter follows him,
Yes.
Steve Clinkscale, part of the Michigan coaching regime there, the national championship team. Other coaches ended up following them. You have one of the best that ever played the position in Navarro Bowman handling the linebackers. You pair that with Joe Ortiz in the front office.
Yes.
And from one single season, from a coaching staff, from a front office perspective, they have been able to turn this organization around in such a short period of time. And that's led to the Chargers now being in 7-4 and in the thick of the playoff hunt. And you could just see Justin Herbert becoming a different type of player. Yes, it may not be the gaudy stats that he has put up in previous seasons, but when it comes to the win and loss column, he doesn't care about that. He's playing efficiently. He's not turning the ball over. He, in my opinion, is playing his best ball, just considering his decision-making, his anticipation, how he's seeing the field, his ability to make himself mobile when he needs to be. And defensively, Jesse Minter has just come in and turned that unit around. And it doesn't even matter who the personnel is. We're talking about 2 fifth-round corners in Tarheeb Still and Cam Hart that have come in and really stepped up in place of Asante Samuel Jr. and Dean Leonard when they have been out. And they've just been able to make it work. So it's quite a turnaround in not even a full season for where they have this Chargers team right now.
So I want to talk about something real quick if you don't mind. And when the off season, y'all had a tremendous off season. Y'all started off by hiring Jim Harbaugh. All right. And I knew when y'all hired him as y'all head coach, I'm like, okay, I knew y'all was going to start winning games with him. Everywhere he's been, he's won. Everywhere he's went. What I was more concerned about is the style that Herbert was going to play under Harbaugh. Harbaugh, we know he's a he can develop quarterbacks. All right. And then y'all got Joe Ortiz. This is a guy that I wanted the Falcons to hire back after the 2020 season. He's been with that Ravens organization since I think the beginning of it in the late 90s. Like you talk about, the Ed Reeds, the Terrell Suggs, all these guys, like he had his thumbprint on all that, building that team out there in Baltimore. So y'all got y'all a good front office. Y'all do. And Jesse Minter, man, like I don't have nothing bad to say about this man. This man knows defense. And I can literally see him being with y'all another year. Could get some rumors now to be a head coach or go back to college and coach. Because now I'm hearing rumors that Georgia State, because he did coach Georgia State for a while back, I think in like 2017, something like that. I think he was like a position coach or a defensive coordinator. But come on now, you got to understand, Michigan had one of the best historic defenses, in the history since last year. And now you transcended that from college to pro level. That scheme still works. And that's what I like. That's what I've been liking with the Chargers this year. I'm like, man, y'all are playing really good football right now. It reminds me of Michigan. I'm a huge Michigan fan, if anybody don't know that.
We can
Wow. We did not know that. Is everybody shocked?
but yeah. So I think y'all will get the wild card. Going into the playoffs. I just don't see Kansas City slowing down anytime soon. Them and the referees, if we being honest. and I really think y'all can. I think y'all can make it to the divisional round and probably the conference championship. But I know for sure y'all going to be my favorite from the AFC side. So I am rooting for y'all. But not in this game. Not in this game this Sunday.
Question. You had a question. What's the question, Doug? You forgot the question.
I didn't ask a question. I was piggybacking off what Hefner said. That was it.
If I'm right, I think you actually had when you started your question was just talking about Jim Harbaugh and the relationship between him and Justin Herbert, because you were kind of just worried about what Jim Harbaugh was going to do in terms of his coaching style. Is it going to be predominantly a run game? And really, through the first 4 weeks, it was that old formula. You look back at the Raiders game, you look back at the Panthers game, it was very much keep it on the ground, give it to J.K. Dobbins, give it to Gus Edwards, let that dictate the pace. And everybody was wondering, where the hell is Justin Herbert in all of this? Mm-hmm. And then, of course, he goes through the ankle injury, getting over the plantar fasciitis. So he was still dealing with that through the Pittsburgh and Kansas City game. And now he's healthy. And I really think after that week 5 bye that the Chargers had, where they were injured, they were 2-2 at that point in time, I think Jim Harbaugh and Greg Roman went back to the drawing board and said, okay, what gives us the best opportunity to win right now? And since the Denver game, you have seen such a drastic shift in their offensive game planning and what they allow Justin to do. Now, obviously, him being healthy had a lot to do with that. Maybe they would have done it sooner if that was the case. But since the Denver Broncos game, they have opened things up for Justin Herbert. They have obviously gotten so much rapport and chemistry between himself and Ladd McConkey out there for what they're able to do. They've made Will Dissly, who traditionally is a blocking tight end, and now is putting him as more of an underrated receiving threat. And you're still dealing with this collection of young receivers, and yet Justin Herbert has finally hit the on switch over the last several weeks. And unfortunately, you couldn't get that one against Lamar Jackson in Baltimore on Monday night, but just overall, his performance has been better. I think overall this offense has been more balanced, which is going to favor Justin Herbert down the stretch when you're going to get into playoffs and being able to pair the passing game and the running game together. So I think Jim Harbaugh had to learn something after that first month. And as much as he loves Justin Herbert, I think he took a long look in the mirror and said, okay, let's take this week, not just to get healthy, but let's reevaluate what we could do to make this team better. And he's done that.
Yeah.
So Jake, let me ask you a question. You mean to tell me that Harbaugh actually got out of his ego, did some soul searching, and decided to make changes on the team mid-season?
Maybe let's not go too far on the ego. I mean, he did say he did once say on a show that he is the toughest quarterback to ever play the game until he met Justin Herbert. So then Herbert or Harbaugh put himself as the second toughest quarterback to ever live. So I don't know. I wouldn't say that the ego has fully gone out the window yet, but I think. I think when they say a lot of people, whether it's any coach getting a second chance at any type of opportunity, I think they always say, they'll do better the second time around because majority of the time they learn from some of their mistakes. Yeah. And you go back to his days at San Francisco, and those issues that took place there were more than just on the field. They were in the front office. You go and look at what he did throughout such a long and good time at Michigan and ultimately capping off at the national championship game. I think he learned a lot from that and just how to cope with players, how to cope with coaches. And so, yes, in a certain circumstance, I think that he leans a lot on his positional coaches. Yes, the rest of his staff, rather than just making decisions himself. I think he basically just puts a lot of faith in Jesse Minter for what he does on the defense. It's kind of similar to how he talks about the front office with Joe Ortiz. In certain circumstances, he says that he'll be Batman and Ortiz will be Robin. But when it comes to signing people, it's the other way around. Ortiz is Batman and he'll be Robin, and he doesn't care. So I think he's learned a lot from his first 2 coaching stints.
Yeah, he told the Chargers front office that he wanted Ortiz as a GM. He do not want to. If he came back to the NFL, he was not going to repeat what happened in San Francisco. That's what he said. The stars had to align because we interviewed him. We interviewed Jim Harbaugh as well, but you know, we just didn't hire him. We didn't pull the trigger, which is fine. I'm not really, tripping off of it. But going back to what you said with the ego, he did have an ego the first few years at Michigan. He did. Oh, he did. He pissed me the hell off. We can never beat Penn State. We couldn't beat Ohio State. Hell, we lose games every other Iowa or Michigan State. Like, oh man, that first 5 years, man, I really wanted to just choke his long neck ass to the point of like, bro, get it together, which he did. COVID year happened. He pretty much hired, Sharon Moore. He hired Mike McDonald. He's the, head coach up there in Seattle right now. And Mike McDonald left to go to Baltimore. And then we brought in Jesse Mitchell from Vanderbilt. Everybody laughed. Oh, y'all gonna, like, please, whatever.
We know, Don. We know the history. We know the history.
Again, he does rely heavily on his position coach. And then Andy Bischoff, man, for you guys, man, he's done a tremendous job for you guys in the run game. Him and Greg Roman. Greg Roman has always been attached to Jim Harbaugh in some capacity for the past 20 years or whatever. So
I got so many jokes that could have been behind that, but this is
we
not
gonna
the show
leave
for
that
that.
We're gonna leave that
alone.
What
But
joke?
you said Greg Roman, right?
Yeah,
We'll
Greg
leave
Roman's
that alone.
awesome. Yeah.
You trust me. We're gonna say that for another show. But you know what I'm talking about, Don. But let's go ahead and get right into this game, man. Mike, I'm gonna let you run point for this one, man. And then I'm gonna go ahead and let Jake go after you. So, Mike, how do you feel about this game? And what do you think this is gonna come down to? Falcons versus Chargers. What you thinking?
I'm just gonna be real. I think the Chargers are gonna beat the living crap out of us. I don't trust Raheem Morris. He's one of those guys at this point in time. He does a lot of talking and not enough adjusting. The Falcons, I saw a stat where they gave up to like 15 to 18 points in the first half of the game, and then the second half of the game somewhere around 8 points. So they're giving up a lot of points in the first half. And when you have a quarterback like Justin Herbert, who I actually like, he's doing a wonderful job of keeping them comfortable. What I like from Harbaugh, he understands how to keep quarterbacks comfortable and do the things that obviously for obvious reasons, but he knows how to keep those guys comfortable. And that's my thing with Raheem. He's not doing the things to keep the Atlanta Falcons defense comfortable. Ironically, he's a defensive guy, but that's a whole nother story, and I won't get into that. But I don't have a good feeling about this game. But I will say this: I did see a chink in the armor with the Chargers, and that's the rushing defense. That the Atlanta Falcons with Bijan Robinson, as well as Tyler Algier, those guys do a wonderful job. And I don't necessarily think they have bad linebackers, but I think the Falcons can take advantage of their linebackers, in particular with guys like Drake London, who like to play in the slot as a I'm not saying he's not a wide receiver, but he's not a tight end. So Drake is one of those guys who's just a tweener. He has 700 yards on the season, as well as Darnell Mooney. So those guys are playing well together. But I think Kyle Pitts is going to be a problem for them. So I don't feel good about this game. I think this is going to be a great game. I really believe this is going to be one of those game of the year where offensively and defensively we could actually see a shootout. I can see a shootout with these teams. So I don't feel real comfortable about this game. The Chargers really scare me, to be honest. But that's where I am.
How you feel about that, Jake? I think you're muted. I think you might be muted.
My bad. I don't think that he's wrong in terms of when you look at this Chargers defense. yeah, you want to take some of that Baltimore tape that you saw on Monday night, and you want to try to exploit that as much as you can. Where the Chargers were really weak at the linebacker spot was missing Denzel Perryman for this game, who is without a doubt your best run stopping linebacker that you have as part of this group. Deion Henley has proven himself in his second year to be extremely athletic and make as many tackles as possible in pass coverage and do a great job doing it. You have Junior Colson, who I think is still down. He's not good to return for, I think, another 2 weeks.
Yeah, he's hurt
off of IR. Yeah, so your linebacking core is a little bit depleted. Where the Chargers need to get tougher up front because they just got owned in the line of scrimmage last night, and they got owned in short yardage situations. So if I'm the Atlanta Falcons, I'm looking to live in 3rd and short in that situations, like you mentioned. It feels like it's taken a while, but Kyle Pitts is starting to finally wake up for you guys over the last several weeks. It feels good to say that. And when you pair that with what Drake London does and Darnell Mooney, who is emerging as a very, very nice number 2 on their offense, I think there's plenty of ways that you guys could scheme up to try to attack this team. Now, Jesse Minter, I know, is going to be pissed off. He's going to have everybody back in the film room, and he's going to want to get one back after what happened on Monday night. So I don't think that it's going to be a blowout. I still project it to be certainly close. I know over the last 5 games, I believe the Falcons have given up 20 points or more. But even in the games that have been high scoring, you guys have still found games where you can win, even in shootout situations. So I don't put it past you guys that this is going to just be one of those type of games where it's going to be a rollover, especially with the Atlanta Falcons coming off of a bye. I think the Chargers have a lot that they need to do, and hopefully can get some guys healthy that can help them on both sides of the football when it comes to the offense and the defense.
Okay. Hey, man. Hey, Juan. What's your take on it, man?
I'm 50-50 on the game myself. I gotta go with this, like Mike. I don't trust Raheem. I don't. But Jake makes some good points, though. I mean, I'll say this, we're pretty much in the same boat. We have linebackers that on our team are pretty much most of the season right now out of position. They're out of position. Some of them due to injuries, some of them due to ego. You can take your pick. And what I'm going to be looking for is how well the Falcons do with stopping you guys' offense. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody knows once the Falcons' offense actually gets going, if we're not beating ourselves with penalties on scoring drives, and nobody's really getting that Kirk, we pretty much flow pretty good on offense. It's the defensive part for me, because if we can't stop you guys from scoring or marching us down the field, it really doesn't matter, because that's where the team begins to come unravel. And I want to see, knock on wood, did Raheem learn anything over this bye week? Like, did you learn anything? So I'm on the fence. I'm 50-50 on this. But I will say it's probably be a close game.
Yeah, I think it'll be a lot closer than most people think. Again, you guys are coming off of a very tough loss against Denver, and you have to sit on that for the entirety of a week during your bye to learn off of that. I mean, you guys aren't coming in all happy about anything either. I mean, you guys are ready to play, and much like us. So I definitely think it's going to be close. What you guys got in the secondary in Jesse Bates, who I really respect, and Justin Simmons, who definitely made life tough for the Chargers when he was in Denver there. Even if he's having what some might call a down season, I still think that he is more than capable of making plays. Clark Phillips, who was one of my favorite defensive backs coming out of this past draft. I really like what I've seen from him in his short time with the team thus far. The Chargers just have to go out and execute their game. And they were manhandled at the line of scrimmage when J.K. Dobbins went down against the Ravens. It really changed how Greg Roman was calling the game. They lived in 3rd and long, and that's just not their game when you're going up against a defense like that. So I think they need to get back to getting to their game, living in 3rd and short, making it a little bit more balanced between the run game. Whether or not J.K. Dobbins is going to play this week or not, that is still up in the air, so it may just be the Gus Edwards show. But they got to try to find ways, and I think a lot of their issues that they had throughout that Monday night game, outside of dealing with Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, was a lot of self-inflicted mistakes. They had a number of different drops. They had costly penalties that were just absolute drive killers for them on Monday night. So they have to figure a lot of things out. And I think the ultimate result, it's going to be closer than people think.
Drive killing penalties, costly drops. Fellas, where have we heard?
Sounds familiar. Sounds very familiar.
Oh man, yeah, it sounds familiar.
Yeah,
This sounds like it's going to be a Tyler Algier type of game, the way you explain it.
yeah. Like this is what I see from the matchup, because pulling up some of these numbers and stuff right now is, like you said, you pretty much got some equal footing here. What I didn't know the Chargers have a +8 turnover differential, which means they're very careful with the ball and they take away the ball too. Once again, this game is going to come down who is the most disciplined out of these two teams. Chargers giving up 15 points a game. Falcons cannot kick field goals this game. I know we love the kickers. The kickers come through when we need them to and stuff like that. But these kind of games right here, especially with the Falcons coming out after that embarrassing loss against Denver, and they're looking to kind of redeem themselves, Falcons can't kick no field goals this game. We got to score touchdowns.
Yeah.
It's going to come down to who makes the least amount of mistakes.
Mm-hmm. Falcons run defense is going to have to kick it up a notch here, because like you said, San Diego, not San Diego, the LA Chargers, I've told you, I'm still trying to get used to this now, are kind of reverting back to the old Chargers teams where they're leaning on that run game a little bit more. And as we already know, the Falcons' biggest Achilles heel right now is defending the run game.
I.e., you cannot have your DBs 15 yards off the line of scrimmage sipping my ties.
Shut up, Warren. Don't talk. We are not talking about that anymore, okay? I don't want to think about that anymore. I'm already in therapy for this, okay? Thank you.
I've been stressed over this bull crap.
So Jake, from what you just heard is a couple of us had to go to therapy over seeing DBs playing 15, 20 yards off the ball on 3rd and short. Yeah, it kind of drove Mike a little insane over here a little bit. But
I get it. In Brandon Staley's defense, the DBs were doing the exact same thing, and it felt like weekly therapy that we had to put ourselves through. So I totally hear you.
Jake, I don't have any more whiskey left. I'm just going to tell you. There's no more left.
Here's a man who knows how to talk to me.
This is what I like. I tried to sip it slow too. It didn't work.
Nah, he had to take that to the head. But
I don't drink much, and I was drinking again.
Hey, look, I'm about to say, what's your favorite brand of whiskey you like to drink?
Good Basil Hayden is always nice. If you guys have ever had Booker before,
oh man,
it's a pricey bottle, but that's one that like you have to sip.
I tried Booker before. I tried it. It's
can't
really
go any
good.
further than sipping it. If you do, there's going to be problems.
Yeah, and let me tell you, when I tried it,
iron.
Yeah, when I tried it, it was good. I took a shot of that, and I'm telling you, when I drunk it, man, I was like, man, I can dig it, sucker.
You shot it?
No, I took a shot.
You, dude.
I took a shot.
That's what I mean. Like you took a shot of it? Like wow.
Yeah.
Woo!
Wow. I was doing the spinning room on the floor, man.
See, that's that type of whiskey that gets rid of the flu in 3 days. So yeah, you drink it and sit down.
But you ain't got you ain't got to worry about COVID, Ebola, or nothing with that, bud.
Right.
It's a cure-all. It's a cure-all. Whatever you got, it's taking it away.
But you gonna be sterile.
Hold on. Let me write this down. Okay.
Hey, kid, I'm not even a drinker, and I'm already intrigued.
Okay. No, look, that's what I said. Booker whiskey. Okay. can cure all
Yeah,
forms of ailments. Okay,
that's gonna
write
be a
that
part of
down.
our next meetup right there.
Yeah, we got yeah. Hey, Jake, appreciate that, man. You just gave me an idea.
No problem, man.
I like that. All right, so we're gonna I definitely got that on my list right there. So Don, three keys, victory, Falcons. What you got?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I ain't even gonna have keys because at this point, everybody said what they need to say on this panel. We gotta play press in this game. We cannot be in cover 3, cover 1 that much against a Jim Harbaugh offense. You cannot do that shit. We've been doing well running the ball, so I'm not even gonna say we need to get the run game established because against the Chargers, that's not gonna be a problem because they run defense is mediocre, and we should have a problem with running the ball against them. I just want to see us play better on offense, just be a little bit more disciplined. I'm tired of every time we make a big play, we get a penalty, we get a flag. Like that's drive killers. So if we can be a little bit more disciplined this week, man, and fire all cylinders, man, I think we'll be fine. I don't have a prediction in this game. I just think this game is going to be close, but is it scary because we're playing up against a guy that I'm familiar with, and he's had his way against a lot of Michigan State quarterbacks in his past as a player and as a coach at Michigan. So we'll just see.
Well, dang. All right. That was straight to the point. I was expecting another reference joke, but right there. But hey, it's all good. Mike, what you got?
Um,
What you got to counter that?
the keys. I think we have to get back to feeding Drake London in the slot. Most of the games that we've won is Drake London has had multiple games this year where he's had over 100 yards, and most of that has become because he and Kyle Pitts have done a wonderful job of dominating the slot, the middle of the defense. So for me, I think Drake London is a very good receiver. You can play him inside, outside, but I think he and there's no dig at Mike Evans, but unlike Mike Evans, he does most of his damage in the inside. So for me, if the Falcons can get him the ball early in the game and feed him in the middle of that defense, it's going to open up so much more for guys like Darnell Mooney. Ray McLeod's doing a wonderful job. I didn't realize he had nearly 400 yards of receiving himself. So, and you have a guy in Bijan Robinson. It really doesn't matter where you get it. It doesn't matter where you give him the ball. It doesn't matter where you get him the ball. He's going to find a way to make a play. Inside, outside, that dude is just he's like y'all remember Martin, right? And you remember that man, he's walking in the store, he's walking on the field, he's like, oh, look at the white shoes. This is what Bijan Robinson is doing right now. He's showing off right now because he got that pep in his step. He looking like a pimp. He knows he's a pimp. He know he got the swag. This man is feeling it right now. So it don't matter where Bijan gets the ball. He's going to be that guy. But I need Drake London. To be more involved in this Atlanta Falcons offense because when he has close to 100 yards, this Atlanta Falcons offense is dang near unstoppable. So I need him to feed the yellow bunny.
So basically, what you saying? Basically, what you saying is he's an international player. From the Himalaya.
From the Himalaya.
Lord. All right, man. Hey, look. We gonna need it. We gonna need everybody to show up here, man. Because also looking at some more of these numbers, Chargers got 35 sacks on the season right now, and right now they're gonna be trying to lick. They're gonna be licking their chops. So I give my basic key to victory is you're going to have to ugly this game up.
He didn't say pork chop done.
Bro, be quiet.
This game gonna have to use. They gonna have the Falcons gonna have to ugly this game up because, like you said, you got a couple guys that are questionable for the Chargers right now defensively. We don't know if they're gonna be playing or not, but the questionables is Khalil Mack, Bud Dupree. There's a lot of former Falcons on this team too, so they kind of know how some of these players' tendencies is too. So Falcons got to ugly the game up, but stay disciplined. Discipline. And Juan, can I say the phrase very well? Do I need to bring the phrase back out?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Runneth the damneth ball.
That's it, and that's my alley-oop. That's what I was going to say. The Falcons need to runneth the damneth ball to open up play actioneth. Yes, that's it. Because with former Falcon players, they're going to be seeing how these guys react. And if you know anything about players on the line, they tell other players, "Hey, look, he's going to do this, that, and the other, so watch." Yeah. That's what they do. Especially Bud Dupree.
Okay. All right, Jake, man. Well, like you said, what's your key? What's your key for the Chargers, man? You got three things. You got three things that they could do to guarantee a victory.
I think they got to. Pardon me. I think they got to get back to just being more of a balanced offense. I think defensively, you bring up all those sacks where they were able to get pressure on Joe Burrow 2 weeks ago. They didn't find that against Baltimore because Baltimore is just that damn good when you have Derrick Henry running the way that he's running, when you have Lamar Jackson as elusive as he is. They have to get back to their front four attacking again. You got to be able to have Derwin James be in a position to where he can be that kind of chess piece out there and you can move him around. Lately, he's been living in the nickel defensively. But I think depending on whether or not Kem Hart comes back, I think is going to be a very big deal because we have seen this Chargers secondary be exploited over the last 2 weeks. You saw what Jamar Chase and T. Higgins did in the Cincinnati game. You saw what Rashad Bateman did last night against one of our better cornerbacks in Christian Fulton. So they're going to have to tighten up the screws defensively with Jesse Minter. And, I'm damn sure that he's going to have them in the film room working to death to try to correct those mistakes. They know defensively that they got worked, and they're going to have to do a lot to get straight in just a short week. Now, offensively, Justin Herbert outside of the running game, again, we don't know if J.K. Dobbins is going to be fully healthy for this game or not, so it's probably going to be the somewhat of a hybrid between Gus Edwards, Hassan Haskins, and maybe Kamani Vidal gets elevated if J.K. Dobbins can't go. But they need to get back into a situation where they can live in third and short, where they can dictate the pace, where they can make themselves multiple. Quentin Johnston did not have himself a good game on Monday night. I thought the way that Justin Herbert approached it post-game was one of the most professional answers that you're ever going to hear when it comes to talking about your teammates. And he's not going to be afraid to go back to him. And there was a period of time during the season where Quentin Johnston was out and he missed 2 games. And when he came back and he had, I believe it was his first 100-yard game and a touchdown that he came back, he said, I felt like I missed time and I felt like I needed to give it back to this team. I hope that we see a semblance of that after having 4 drops on Monday Night Football. They're going to need it. Ladd McConkey, I would expect, is going to be another focal point of where Justin Herbert is going to go throughout the entirety of this game. Joshua Palmer has been here and there. Ladd McConkey's kind of taken over his targets for this role. But Joshua Palmer always seems to be really reliable for at least 1 or 2 catches a game to help move the sticks. So, again, the Chargers they just got out-muscled on Monday. They have to get back to their brand of football. If they can get back to it where they would be putting the Atlanta Falcons in a 14-point hole and making Kirk Cousins just have to throw the ball the entire time and not have to focus on what Bijan Robinson can do, because he can do a lot. And especially if they run it to the right side, which I think that's their strong side in terms of running the ball, that's where he thrives. So if the Falcons get the running game going, and as you guys had mentioned, if Kirk Cousins can distribute, Drake London can get back to doing what he's doing, Darnell Mooney, pardon me, Darnell Mooney can take a couple shots downfield. If you allow them to get going in that circumstance, it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a close game, and I don't think that anybody should underestimate that fact at all. So I think both teams coming off of losses, especially the Falcons having to sit on that after a bye week, there's a lot for both of these teams to think about. I think it'll be much closer than what people think. I have it being a 1-score game.
Okay. I like that. I like that. All right, Don. This is your portion of the show. As anybody that's kind of new to this channel over here, the Heavy Hitters, we have we have 2 segments. We have the segment where I host, and then we got the second set part of it is where Don is going to be asking the couple questions that we ask our guests. Like you said, it's going to come down to history of team and, of course, food.
All right, let's start off. So, Hefner, man, we know you're a Chargers fan through and through.
Yes.
But what players stuck out as a sore thumb for you that you say that's your favorite Chargers player of all time, in your opinion?
Low-hanging fruit says LT, and I don't want to do it just because it's the easy answer. I mean, for obvious reasons, LT is that. But guys that I really love just going through the history of this franchise, Phillip Rivers, and I'll just tell you a quick story, is just one of those type of guys because there's so much stuff that you don't get to see from Phillip Rivers on the field. Everybody talks about he's always talking while not cursing, but he's always talking. One of the best one of the best things I ever saw from Phillip Rivers, this was the last year that the Chargers were in San Diego. And practice had just ended, and we're on the field, and we're just interviewing some of the players at that point in time. First of all, DJ Fluker, which I think that was his rookie year that year, is just a mammoth of a man, but like the happiest dude on the planet. It's just, I remember shaking his hand, and it just absolutely engulfed mine. I couldn't believe like how big he was. But at that practice, I think it was a member of Phillip Rivers' family, but there was a children's youth group that was there, and a group of nuns had brought, whether it was part of his kid's school or another school, they brought a whole youth group there to watch practice. Normally how practice goes, Mike McCoy would come to the podium, Phillip Rivers would follow him. And so Mike McCoy speaks, and everybody's waiting there for Phillip Rivers. He's nowhere to be found. They're like, okay, he's with them. Like, he'll come back in like 20 minutes. We'll be ready to go. An hour and a half goes by because Phillip Rivers is on the field throwing passes to these nuns, throwing passes to these kids. For an hour and a half, he spends time with them. He walks them to the bus, and then he comes back and he greets the media. And it was just like those little things that you never get to see. And I'm sure that this is true with so many other players, but those are the type of things that you never get a chance to see or reported about or that are really put out in the media that just make you love these guys. Outside of what they do on the field, they're just good people. I remember Sean Phillips being a character because he was always a character in practice, along with Sean Merriman, but I really gravitated to him, to Sean Phillips. Going really old school here. Man, oh man. I mean, Antonio Gates being one, Tyrell Williams, because I liked his come up for his short stint that he was with the Chargers. Vincent Jackson, who just absolutely turned into an absolute stud. Darren Sproles, when you go back and you think of his playoff wins that he had against Indianapolis and how dynamic of a weapon that he was. But man, oh man, since Justin Herbert has walked in, it just seems like it's been such an uplift to the Chargers because they've never had a quarterback like this when it comes to processing, accuracy, deep ball, mobility. So there's really so many to rattle off. But if I was to say one, it obviously just has to be LT for obvious reasons. Just to me, he was one of the last great 3-down backs that you don't see anymore. It was him, and then it was Adrian Peterson's time, and then it was AP, and then it was Derrick Henry. And slowly but surely, that 3-down back is just kind of dying away, and we're going back now to that 2-back system. So it's generational. It's been a long history of guys, but yeah, it's still always and forever LT.
And I'm y'all, and that's the thing with because the Chargers, I always say the Chargers and the Falcons are very similar when it comes to like that quarterback. Y'all had Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers, and then y'all had Justin Herbert. So y'all have literally a span of 24 years of having that consistency at a quarterback spot.
And the Falcons,
but the Falcons, we had Vic. We had 1 year off. We was in purgatory for a year in that 2007 season that we don't like to talk about that much. Then we had Matt Ryan for 14 years, and now we brought in Kirk Cousins to try to bridge us to what we think we can have in Michael Penix Jr. So it's like y'all always had that consistency at that quarterback spot, which is a good thing. So my bad, K-Styles. Go ahead, man.
Oh no, you good. I'm sitting over here taking it all in. I wanted to give a shout out to Smitty Sports Machine for showing us some love over here. Well as like I said, Ultra Shadow 97, John St. Clair, Dre Murphy, Logan Reeves. Like you said, man, Brian Peoples, Bobby Boy Zone 3. Just want to give them a shout out. You can keep on going, Don. I just want to shout them out right quick.
All right, go ahead. You next. Who's your favorite Chargers player, K-Styles?
I'm gonna point out some names here.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. Jay may know where I'm about to go with this. Corey Dillon, Eddie George, Ward Dunn, Mike Allstott, LaDainian Tomlinson. What is the one thing all those guys got in common?
I mean, besides just running over people, it's a common denominator, really. But as far as
that's the common denominator.
I'm assuming it's the. I'm trying to think. It's not just rushing titles here. Fullbacks.
You got it.
Lorenzo Neal.
Yeah, man.
Lorenzo Neal, at that point in time, for those that don't know, was regarded as one of the best blocking fullbacks this league has seen in that span in time.
Yep.
See, Jake, I'm a fullback. I'm a fullback guy over here as well as an overall football guy. So I always want to show love to my fullbacks.
The dying breed, man.
They don't get no love. They don't get no love until your running back is doing damage. I just say that. Hey man, I like you said, LaDainian Tomlinson, like you said, with all the numbers that he put up, that boy Lorenzo Neal was opening up them holes and made it easy for him.
Yep.
And like you said, and that the running backs that I named was guys that he blocked for too. I do have one honorable mention, but that's up to Don. If you want me to name that honorable mention. Don
is eating chicken right about now.
I'll say one more name and I'm going to pass it up. Donnie Edwards.
I have in this closet to my right, I have a personalized Donnie Edwards jersey. Old school Donnie Edwards, back when Donnie Edwards was king, whether or not it was for the Chargers or for the Chief. He was a fantastic, fantastic middle linebacker.
Hey, yeah, hey, for those that don't know about Donnie Edwards, if you actually look at his numbers around that time, it was literally on par with every other middle linebacker that you could think of. Ray Lewis, Brian Urlacher, Takeo Spikes, London Fletcher. He had the same type of numbers, but he didn't get the love like that. John, no, ain't none of these guys from Michigan.
I would have to say for me, it's the late great Junior Seau. That's the only reason why I love the Chargers because Seau was just my dude, man. It's just the way he conducts himself. Mm-hmm. He's a man's man, and he's one of the greatest linebackers I've ever seen. So for me, obviously I love the quarterback play with Philip Rivers, but I love to watch Julius Seau.
Yeah, I was a huge Julius Seau fan as well. What about you, Warren?
Junior Seau and LT, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
my play. Hold on, dog. Let me get this one off right quick. Here's a question: would you take Dan Fouts over Philip Rivers?
You know, it's interesting because it's nostalgia for me. Who I grew up with. It's Dan Fouts' time was already done at that point in time. And it's funny. We've actually had Dan Fouts on our show. He's the nicest dude in the world, by the way. And we've had him on to talk so much about Justin Herbert. You know, both being from the Oregon area, and he knows Justin very well with his whole come up through college. But if it was me, I have to lean towards Philip Rivers. It's just because of, you know, even if we're talking about it being, you know, an unusual type of swag, he just had that type of swag. And yeah, Dan Fouts was revolutionary in the Air Coryell offense, and that was great for that time, and that was different for that time in the West Coast offense. But yeah, Philip Rivers, odd delivery or not, he could just still find a way to put the ball where it needed to be in passing situations. It's definitely nice when you have a more mobile quarterback in Justin Herbert, but it's absolutely hilarious when you see Justin Herbert run for a first down, because that was like a once in a lifetime thing when that happened. And he'd get up and he'd do the point and he'd do the first down logo because he was hyped that he ran that far. It was hilarious when he would run because it was so damn slow. And he didn't know how to slide. So it's like when he would go down just to try to get the first down, he kind of like bounce off the ground. There was a lot to love about Philip Rivers, regardless of the fact that he never ended up winning the Super Bowl. But you really loved him after that Indianapolis playoff game where he tore those ligaments in his knee and said, screw it, I'm still going to New England and I'm still strapping it up and I'm still going to try to win this AFC championship game. That was the moment I really think that things turned from it being LT's team to Rivers' team.
He's such a disrespected quarterback. I love everything about Philip Rivers, man. Aside of all them damn kids he got. Never mind.
All right, Don, my bad, Don. I had to get that question out. Go ahead.
All right, so my favorite Chargers player, I know a lot of people probably forgot about this kid, but I have to give it to Derek Walker, man. I remember Derek Walker back in the 90s. Like he was, you know, he wasn't in San Diego that long, but I remember y'all had a playoff year in 92, I believe. He had a good year that year. But Derek Walker's my guy, my favorite Chargers player of all time. Y'all thought I was going to say Jim Harbaugh, but I didn't say Jim Harbaugh.
And what school did Mr. Derek Walker go to?
He went to Chicago Heights in Illinois.
Wow.
Well, there you have it.
There you have it.
That's a high school that he went to, though.
I don't know. We're going to leave that one alone.
What's going on, Drew? Like I said, for y'all, Drew couldn't be on the show. He's with family right now. So, like I said, man, y'all showed you some love in here. Any other players you got done?
That's it. That's my only favorite Chargers player, Derek Walker. All right. Yes, he went to Michigan, y'all. Damn.
That's what I'm waiting on. That's what I'm waiting on right there. That's what we're waiting on.
We know.
We know. All right,
Anyway,
Doug.
so let's get to the last segment of the show. We're going to talk about why. Now we know the Chargers now play in Los Angeles, but for the sake of Hefner, he's here. He live in the San Diego area. Is that correct?
Technically, it's South Orange County, so I'm a little bit north of San Diego. I'm right in between that area between San Diego and LA.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I think I'm familiar with that area. So, y'all are very known for fish tacos down there. What's the best fish taco spot down there?
Oh, man, fish taco spot. There's so many Wahoo's establishments like all over the place in Southern California. That would probably be where my immediate thought would go. I'm sure that there's better fish tacos place out there, but for some reason people rave about Wahoo's, and it's all over the place, at least where I'm at in terms of location and where you can get like a good fish taco. Again, admittedly, am I the biggest seafood guy? I gravitate more towards sushi. That's how I get down when it comes to fish. But Wahoo's would probably be the place that I would say if you're going to get a good fish taco, you can find a pretty decent one at Wahoo's.
All right. What's your take on the guacamole down there?
Love the guacamole, man. Gotta have the guacamole, man.
Yes.
It really doesn't matter what the hell you're putting it on. If it's a quesadilla, if it's a burrito, you gotta have some of it.
Y'all put them on hot. Y'all put them on hot dogs down there.
Who's doing that? I need to know who's doing that. That's got to be in Los Angeles or something. I have not seen one person doing that, but
I'm glad I wasn't doing that time.
I seen it on Drivers, Divers, and Dives guy, Gee, whatever his name is. But it was down there in Southern Cal. They put guacamole on the damn hot dog. Are you kidding me?
That's taking it a little bit too far.
Yeah, it sounds like a stomach eruption right there, man. I can't do that.
That's up there with like the people who like to put mayonnaise on French fries. Like, no, that doesn't play.
You said the mayonnaise on this show.
I hate mayonnaise. Look, let me tell you, and I got to pick on my girlfriend for a little bit. She eats her steak well done. That's a strike.
Oh my God.
And she used ketchup and mayo to
no.
Again. Oh my!
How dare you disrespect steak with mayonnaise?
Yeah, we don't use word mayonnaise on this.
What? Will Levis messed it up for everybody, and then she.
I had to go gather my phone.
Spraying Old Day mayonnaise on his neck. That's just no. Mayonnaise on steak.
Mayonnaise on fries is disrespectful.
Yeah, it is.
Where's my glass of whiskey?
It is. But going back now, Utah, people in Utah, they make fry sauce. It's ketchup and mayo. They mix it together and they call it fry sauce. But this show is not about Utah. It's about Southern Cal. Brian Peoples, it is a sin, but it is what it is. Some people just weird. I always wanted to try some carne asada fries. Tell me, give me a best spot to get that at.
There's not many places that you can't get good carne asada fries. Virtually any Mexican establishment that you have here, whether we're talking about like a really well-known chain or especially a mom and pop stop, you can find a good spot for carne asada fries. Now, it's how do you dress them up after you've got them? So you want to dress it up with some chipotle sauce? Definitely do that because that'll make it that much better. But there's plenty of places that you could find some good carne asada.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think carne asada with some guacamole on there. Yes, that'll set it off right there. And I know y'all. I know there's been some places in the malls here in Georgia. They got a California style pizza joints, but those are different. What is a California style pizza? Can you let the people that's watching the show Can you enlighten us what people put on a California pizza?
You're talking about like the CPK, California Pizza Kitchen. You guys have that over there?
We had one in Lenox Mall a long time ago, and I ain't gonna lie, I used to eat there. I did, but I ate what place I didn't eat in Lenox Mall outside. So,
see, admittedly, I've maybe eaten at CPK twice. Is it my favorite pizza spot? No. They do more of like the New York style, where it's more of like the thinner crust. That's kind of what their bread and butter is.
Yeah.
But man, and I have gravitated towards this over the last few years, and I wish I was introduced to it sooner. Chicago deep dish.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Oh, man, yes, thank you. Oh,
that's a me.
Now, if I ever need like a really good food coma to take a nap,
that's it right now.
Just give me 2.5 pieces of Chicago deep dish, and I will be out. But I will be out with a smile.
I thought you were about to say 2 pizzas. I can eat a whole pan by myself.
My thing is, we is not about to bypass a well done steak with mayonnaise on it. I'm still trying to get.
I don't know.
What the hell is that?
Hey, Jay. See, my family hails from New York, from Buffalo, so that's all we had up there. So yeah, when you go to Chicago and get a deep dish, yeah, that's a meal in a pan. You don't eat nothing after that.
Right.
You just go to sleep.
You're done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That and then their hoagies up there. With the sweet steak, man. That right there, man. The 2 places I said I love to live: Chicago and Kansas City. Like those 2 places got the best food. I kid you not, man. Oh man.
See, we're doing wonders for the community. We're inspiring people to go into food comas.
That's right.
That's it. It's such a happy place.
Lord have mercy. But I am hungry in the mud, man. Thanks a lot, Don. As usual, as usual, this segment that made about 3, 4, 5 people hungry watching this. So we appreciate you, Don, on that one.
So one more thing, because my favorite holiday is literally, is near. I love Thanksgiving.
We know.
No,
Kevner, what are you planning on cooking for on Thanksgiving?
So we have actually 2 turkeys that are being cooked. My father-in-law loves his smoker. He was actually a chef back in his early days, so he loves to cook. So I'm not sure I know he's going to do one, traditional turkey, and then I think he's going to do the other one a little bit special of a style. So I'm interested in seeing it. He's not giving away the farm yet for what he's going to do or what's going to happen. I think we're having 2 types of potatoes. We're doing twice baked potatoes, which are my personal favorite, and then regular potatoes with gravy. You have to do that. I do love stuffing, so I have a guilty pleasure with that. I know not a lot of people love stuffing, but I do.
We do dressing down here.
Dressing, okay, yes. And then I'm pretty sure there's probably going to be 3 types of pie because everybody has their specific pie that they gravitate towards. So if I'm going to guess, it's going to be apple, pumpkin. I'll probably say it's pecan is going to be the third one that's in there. But it should be a pretty substantial meal, and everybody should be eating hearty.
Okay, that's good. I'm very intrigued. You need to send me some pictures of the turkeys.
You got it
on Twitter because I look. Shout out to your father-in-law because I salute chefs. I come from a family of chefs too, so that's one of the reasons why I like to eat. But I know how to cook. I know how to throw down as well. I'm smoking we smoking turkey wings. We're not having that many people at my house. So we're doing some turkey wings. I'm going to do a corned beef. I'm going to smoke that as well. We're going to do dressing.
Because you're not about to have me cooking dinner at 5 in the morning, Don. This is weird.
Look,
if you want to eat good, if you want to eat good, you got to pay the sacrifices getting up in the morning. Guess what? I have everything done by 1 to 2 o'clock when the Lions game on, and I'm eating. And by the time Cowboys come on, I'm pretty much asleep.
Well, see, I got the best of it. I'm just gonna go over my brother's house and eat up his food. I ain't gotta cook nothing.
When I'm done eating at my house, I'm gonna take a nap, but I'm gonna wake it back up and I'm gonna do my rounds there by that house to get something to eat.
All right, bro, man. Goddamn, but
Don is
You know, I'm
trying to
about to
do
go.
3.
I'm about to go to Mom's house on 4th Street.
That's it.
Eat up some more.
That-
Everything was so hitting, except them regular ass peas.
Bruh man, where you get that bowl of gravy from?
Man, I don't know, man, but well, whatever it was in there, it was off the chain. I'm about to go to Mom's house on 5th Street. Eat up some more.
Now,
You
now,
could.
Jake, I will tell you this: we all went to a Falcons tailgate. I think it was last season or whatever,
Mhm.
and we went to the blue lot, and the guy had some barbecue. He was cooking some barbecue, and he had barbecue sauce in a 5-gallon pail. And we would take the smoked meat off the truck. He'd give it to you on your plate, but he would dip it in the barbecue sauce, and it was cold. I think that's the game we played Chicago. We played Chicago
It was 37 degrees outside. We
outside.
ate that food. It was 97 degrees outside.
Look,
We,
I don't know what he had in that barbecue sauce. We were high and warm in cold weather.
I'm pretty sure he probably put some chipotle peppers in it.
He had some. I swear he had some liquor in there because K Styles and I was sitting there eating, and I looked at Kev. I said, "You warm?" He said, "Man, I'm warm." I was like, "What are we eating?" We went to the game, came out of the game, went back to the tailgate to get some more food.
Now there's a barbecue sauce. There is a barbecue sauce I've made, but I ain't gonna tell y'all the ingredients. But it's one of them that it does have. I put gin in it.
You put gin in it. Okay,
Yeah.
I was gonna say for sure that dude mixed it up with a bottle of bourbon.
Bourbon whiskey is good, but gin, I'm telling you, the barbecue sauce. I make like different versions of barbecue sauce, and each one hits. But the one with the gin in it, yeah, it'll give you a little warm feeling. It'll make you feel warm, in standing in the North Pole. Just put like that.
I ended up in a tank top in 37-degree weather. Just know that's how they ended up.
Look,
that's the secret. That's how everybody's out there to be able to take their shirts off and sustain all that cold weather. So it's bourbon or gin infused barbecue sauce.
Look, I'm telling you, I dunked everything in the barbecue sauce. I dunked the cornbread. I dunked the green beans. I lost my mind eating that too.
Boy, you had to go second for that one, boy. You definitely back for that one.
Made me feel good. Oh man, that's a lot done. Now I'm hungry. I'm hungry now. Lord have mercy. But that's all we got. That's all we got done. You got anything else?
Brian Peoples, he know what I'm talking about. He said his uncle do it as well. So, but we appreciate you coming on, Hefner, man. Let everybody know where they can find you again.
No, I appreciate it, guys. This was a lot of fun. You can find me at Jake T. Hefner on Twitter, X, whatever you're calling it. I still call it Twitter. I won't call it X anymore. It's just weird. It's just weird. But no, thanks for having me on, man. This was a good roundtable, little powwow about football and food. You can't get any better than that.
Hey, look. Hey, we definitely appreciate you, man, coming on, man, because they be about tired of listening to us. So, they got to get a different perspective on certain things.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. So if you guys want to subscribe to Jake's channel, it's Chargers Unleashed. I subscribe to it. It is on Mad Mike Sports community tab. So easy access. Just head over to Mad Mike Sports and click the link and subscribe to Chargers Unleashed. That's it, man. Jake.
Appreciate it very much, guys. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we appreciate everybody tuning in, man. Like you said, man, this is going to be a very interesting game. Falcons Chargers. It's a lot of connectivity between these two teams with former players and history on how these teams are built. Hey, man, everybody's playoff hopes. They're trying to keep on building these up. So, hey, let's have fun. Let's watch this game. And let's get mad if something happens. So until next time, people, we ain't here to play.
Oh, no.
We here to stay.
Oh, yeah. Dig it.
You ain't gotta go home.
But you got to get the hell up out of here.
Cause I am the limousine riding, jet flying, wheeling dealing, kiss stealing, son of a gun.
And that's the bottom line because Mad Mike said so.
Out.
Juicy.
He look at Jay like, yeah, I like these wrestling analogies y'all
Man, that sign off was beautiful.